Okay, good morning, everyone. We are all welcome to the new week. I believe we all had a good weekend. And to our valued customers, we say good morning to you. We appreciate you for your trust and loyalty and for your time in breakfast briefings. We take you through the equities market reports, and then that will now move down to the other part of the market, which is the fixed income market. So just as we did the last one, this is the second edition of our breakfast briefings on equities markets. And then we also talked about our expectations and then the actions to be taken. Looking at last week, equities markets also gained 261 basis points, about 2.61%. And in terms of year-to-date return, we are still currently at 35.52. And then the current all-share index stood at 101,330.8 thousand, which is about 1,000 in basis points. It says within the course of last week, market recorded our 2.161%. And then the activities in the market were largely driven by what we have seen in three major stocks in our market who serve as a catalyst during the course of the week. The Transcorp Power that was listed on Monday last week, we had already projected and predicted that the market would react to the listing of Transcorp Power and then the Transcorp rule as well. But during the course of last week, we saw that Transcorp, Transnational Corporation Group, and the United Bank for Africa, the three companies accounted for almost 72% of the market. So making the market to close on a positive trend, on a positive note on Friday. And then looking at the sectoral performance as well, out of the 5 sectors under our coverage, we could see that only 2 sectors recorded the industrial recorded about 1.5% week on week, and oil and gas also closed zero, while NCL, NGL, consumer and insurance, the three also depreciated. For the banking, it lost 1.40%. The consumer also lost 1.21%, and insurance also lost 5.22%. Of course, the reaction why depreciation also setting in those sector or indices were because people are taking profit, and they do also forget that we've also celebrated yields in some fixed and money market instruments. So we will see a reaction. So in terms of price movement summary, for entire last week, market recorded 22 equities in terms of price gainer, while 56 stock also lost their sharp prices, and the 76 stock also remained flat in the course of last week. So during the course of last week, we also saw some corporate actions coming into the market, and we have also added that to the one we projected last week. NGS Group also declared 75 cover, and then the qualification date is 26th of March, and then the payment will be advised. The data mark is registered. And Nascon Allied Company, that's National Salt Company, Dangote Salt, as the case may be, also declare a bonus of 2 for 100 units. So meaning that if you are holding 100 units, you are qualified for 2 units. And then the qualification date is for those investors whose name appeared in the register of the company on 3rd of May, and the payment day or the date are going to credit that, they also advise us as later. We'll get that from the as soon as that information is being updated. And then the very same is also the registrar, and the third to that is African Prudential registrar. They also declare 45 cover. The qualification day is 15th of March, and then the payment day is also March 20th of March, and the African Prudential is also the registrar to that company. So we've also projected the other one. These are not new to us in the market. We showcased that one, all other in the presentation we did last week, and we're also going to send out the corporate actions to all our various customers. In terms of expectation in the market for the week, which is very critical, and of course, we expect to see liquidity around the banking stock because by this time of last year, we've seen results coming into the market in terms of corporate actions. So investors have been waiting to see the corporate actions of the bank because it's always very encouraging. The big banks of this market, the Access Bank, the JTB, the UBA, and then the Zenith Bank, their result has not come to the market. So, but we are believing that before the end of this one, those results is likely to come out and then be released into the market. And we're going to see people taking position. You see some taking position in those stocks, especially those one under Fugaz, and then some other stocks that are under the premium board of the NGS. So in today's market this week, we are likely to see some renewed interest. Some people will be taking position in those banking stocks, even though the prices are coming down. It's also give an opportunity for those who wants to come in. So in the course of this week, we are likely to see corporate actions coming into the market, and while also waiting for that, investor will also be taking position in those top big banks, and then those that also fall under the purview of the premium board of the NGS. We also expect bargain hunting in some stocks in our market. So like the MTN, Transport Power, they will continue to improve the market because investors that are also very rational are also trying to take position now that the price has also come down. So we expect to see that in the market in the course of the week. MTN has moved from 186 naira to over 221 naira in the course of last week. It has also presented an opportunity for those who could not benefit when the company did their public offer sometimes 2 years ago. And then the activities of the profit takers cannot be completely ruled out on the market because people will also be taking profit in the market. So we are likely to see the activities of the profit taking or the profit takers in the market, but it's not going to be at an aggressive level, just like what we witnessed in the first week of February, because people are also trying to be careful, and they also want to take advantage of the dividend. So while some people are also taking advantage of the profit, but activities of the profit takers will not really be felt much in the market, because that will also serve an entry point for investors that also want to take a position in some of those stocks that their price has also come down. We also forget that the fixed income or the money market elevated interest is also driving the equities market. That does not mean that equities market is going to recover or suffer losses because of what is happening in the fixed income market. As a way of diversifying your portfolio, so you also need to ensure that you also have a couple of stocks in your portfolio while you're also investing in the fixed income and in the money market instruments. So we also have a few stock recommendations that our research unit has also sent out. It's something the market this week. We are still expecting that the market is still likely to close on a positive growth because we are not really expecting aggressive profit-taking activities in the market. And we still believe that stock worth over 1 trillion in our market will still drive our market. The likes of MTN, the Powerful, the Transport Power, and then the Irigu and a few others. They will see continue to drive the equities market. So, but our recommendation is still based on the strong fundamentals and the market analysis. And at every point in time, you can count on our recommendations based on the valuations we have conducted on some of these equities. So we always advise you that to go for the stock that we have recommended from time to time. And then you can also reach out to us as RM level so that we can give further information or insight into the areas that needed clarification. So thank you very much. So somebody else will be taking the fixed income and the money market segment of our market, and then thereafter move to question and answer. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much for joining. So quickly we'll be looking at the fixed income market, what the market did last week. Basically, our presentation this morning would cover just a brief summary of what the market did, expectation for the week, and then recommendations to our clients. To quickly rush through activities in the market last week, you can see the funding rates in the money market space elevated by 200. Okay, for the open buyback rate, we saw an increase of 266 basis points, while for the overnight rates, we saw an increase of 281 basis points. We closed at 29.82 and 31%. This is not surprising because we had anticipated that the system liquidity was going to be suppressed. That was on the back of the OMO funding and the NTB auction funding that we saw that took place last week. So that contributed to the elevated rates in the money market space. And just like my colleague rightly said earlier, we've seen a more like a shift in investors' interest to the fixed income space. But that is not to say that while we are looking at the fixed income space that currently provides elevated and higher interest rates, now we should find a way to diversify our portfolio by also investing in the equity space. So quickly, we see the treasury bills market. The market closed bearish, and that was on the back of the increase in the auction results for last week. We saw that at the auction for the 364-day NTB, the rates closed at about 21.49%. So we saw the activities in the secondary market also realigned itself to the position of the auction and what the auction did. This week, there's also another NTB auction this week. We should see a sustenance of these elevated rates, but probably when we get to our recommendations, we'll touch more on that. The OMO segment, OMO segment also maintained the bearish sentiment following the funding we saw last week on Monday, where over ₦1 trillion was allotted at the last auction. So we also saw that we saw some activities in the secondary markets where people took profit on their current holdings to reposition at the better and elevated interest rates. So just to quickly give us an overview of what the last NTB auction did, because we have another auction this week, so as to refresh our mind and possibly get ourselves prepared. The last auction, 337 billion was on offer, worth of NTBs, and at the end of the auction, we saw that the total subscription stood at about 1.6 trillion, and that's almost close to about 900 billion in excess of the amount of offer. And at the end of the auction, total sales was 1.3 trillion naira. And on the 91 day, we saw that stock rates was at 17.24. On the 182 days, stock rate was at 18%. And then on the 364 day, we saw stock rate at 21.49%. Quickly to the bonds market, as expected, the bonds market also sustained the bearish sentiment. That is, we saw that the yields in the market elevated at the end of the week on the back of the system liquidity that is still on the negative zone. At the end of last week, I think market liquidity closed at roughly negative 2.2 trillion naira, as we saw that the banks had to approach the central bank for funding for funding basically. So we saw that impacted both the treasury bills market and the bonds markets as they both closed on a bearish note. That's when we say bearish note, we mean that the market closed negative basically. So and then last week we saw sellers dominated the market as investors are trying to position their portfolio, at elevated interest rates. It is expected that you don't continue to keep your investment at lower rates. You try and sell off at that point, and then you reposition at higher interest rate. But at the end of the week, we saw that the bonds market increased by an average of 77 basis points to close at 18.29. Quickly, the foreign exchange market. I know this is a part of the market that interests a number of us. We can see that the official rates market Naira depreciated from 1,548.25 to close at 1,627.40. So what this basically tells us is that now is the time to continue to hedge against further devaluation of the Naira. As it stands, we still don't have a very good clarity as to the direction of the Naira, because as we all know, the major problem with the Naira is the supply. Are we seeing that supply anytime soon? It's still sketchy at this point. So what that tells us is that as investors, we should start to position ourselves in assets or in investments that will help hedge or alleviate, so hedge rather than protect ourselves from further devaluation of the Naira. So quickly, we look at the outlook for the week, what is expected this week, and to enable us to position ourselves. For the interbank rates, we should see a slight moderation. There's an FGN bond maturity later in the week of about 719 billion. When that hits the system, we should see that moderate or to suppress the illiquidity in the market to a significantly positive level. Although, like I said earlier, market liquidity is currently at 2.2 trillion negative. If 719 billion enters the market, that would still not take us to a positive position, but that should water the ground a bit. So, and also there's an NTB auction coming up later this week. Investors that are interested in this, you can begin to send in your bids. As we saw at the last auction, results came out quite high. So this is somewhere we should position ourselves. And the minimum size for this auction is 50 billion. So 50 million naira, I beg your pardon. So 50 million naira, you can take advantage of the elevated rates in the market. And for the bonds market, we expect to see some buying interest on the back of the inflow expected this week. So quickly, we'll be talking to our products. We expect that at the end of all this presentation, If our investors and our clients are not provided with the opportunities to take advantage of the happenings in the market, then of what use is the information being passed across to them? So, like we all know, uh, the fixed income market at the moment is doing quite well, quite good in terms of rates. So we have a fixed income product. As a client, you have some money in your savings account. What rate is savings accounts offering you? Compare that with what you can get from some of all these products. For the fixed income market, we offer a rate that is very competitive in terms of peers in the market, and then when compared with the savings rates, the interest you get on your savings account and the likes, you're better off putting your funds in these funds. And in terms of risk profile, the risk is very low. There's diversification whereby we invest in quality fixed income instrument and also in money market instrument. And for the lead balance fund, okay, you don't want to put your money only in fixed income fund. You want to explore the equity space as well. You can also do lead balance fund, where we have a mixture of both the equities and the fixed income portfolio. Okay, I mentioned earlier that we have that, as you can see, the naira is still on the free fall in terms of illiquidity and inadequate supply in the market. So we have the lead dollar fund. So we have a dollar denominated fund where, as investors, you have a dollar inflow, or possibly you have a future dollar expenditure, and you would like to prevent or hedge against currency risk. It's a very good fund for you to invest your money in rather. And I'm very, very sure in terms of return, we are very, very at an advantage point. And then one particular thing about this fund is that so this fund invests mainly in fixed income instrument, no equity. So that means you're safe, you are protected from any volatility in the market. And another good thing is that clients that might be interested in Eurobond trading, as we might all know, the minimum amount for trading in the Eurobond space is at least 200,000 naira. Sorry, $200,000. But no, but with this dollar fixed income fund, you're able to also enjoy the benefit of the Eurobonds market without having to go in as an individual. We also have a fixed income product, the Lead Gazelle portfolio, in the way you can invest as low as 5 million naira, and then to as high as you can possibly place. And in terms of return, and so in terms of interest rate is quite competitive when compared to what you would most likely get in the banks. And yeah, basically. So for Eurobond trading, are you an investor that you are exposed to? So, and you have a dollar inflow, you have revenues in dollars, you have payment, maybe rent and all coming to you in dollars, and you're looking at, okay, where can I invest my dollar inflows? You can do Eurobond trading as well with a minimum of $50,000. Yeah, with a minimum of $15,000, you can invest in the Eurobonds market, and you get your coupon directly into your account, and the ease of exit and entry in terms of, okay, you want to sell or you want to buy more, it's just very easy for you to do. So these are some of the product offerings that we have. And if there's any of them that you think you would want to position into, just do us an email after the session. I'll be more than happy to provide clarity and answers where necessary. So thank you so much for joining once again. At this point, if there are any questions and answers, any questions rather, we will be available to provide the answers to them. The floor is now open for questions. Thank you. This question. Sure. Okay, if you have questions, you can just signify by a raise of hand. If you have questions, and you'll be unmuted. All right, Mr. Oladbola, we can see your hand is up.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. My quick question is, I get emails of the Eurobond listing or like whatever the situation the Eurobond is, but I don't seem to understand some aspect of the bids and the ask, and I just some more information about how the Eurobond investment does work, how it works. If I can get somebody to give me a call and explain to me the technicalities or the terminologies of ask and bid and what have you that you put on the list. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thanks for that question. So just to quickly answer the question for the benefit of others on this call who might also be interested, the ask price and the bid price are just the price of entry and exit. If you are buying, you buy at the ask price. If you're selling, you sell at the bid price. So it's basically just the entry and the exit price for those instruments. Say, for example, you're interested in Nigeria Eurobond 2031, for instance, and then you want to come into the market. You come into the market at the bid price, and then by the time you are selling, you sell it at the ask price. So basically, just the entry and the exit price. That is the main difference between those two prices. But just like you said, at the end of the call, I will personally put the call through to you, for further clarifications. And okay, we have another question. Can someone invest in the CBN NTB with less than 50 million naira? Okay, the point is when you want to go for the auction, the minimum amount is 50 million naira. So it is not possible to go for the auction with less than 50 million naira. However, like I rightly said, there are other opportunities for you. You have less than 50 million naira, you can invest in some of all these other products whereby you have access to still enjoy the benefit of going to the auction. For example, the lead fixed income fund, like I mentioned earlier, we invest 70% in a fixed income instrument and 30% in the money market instrument. So if you invest in such a fund, you still get to enjoy benefit of investing directly to enjoy the benefit rather of investing directly in the NTB and also the Gazelle. We have the lead Gazelle portfolio as well. You can invest in that. And you also get to enjoy the benefit of going directly to the auction, provided you don't have up to the 50 million naira. That is the minimum threshold. If you have a 10, 15, 20 million naira, there are also products that can accommodate that amount. Thank you. If there's any other questions, please signify by a raise of hand. Check the chat box. Okay, we have another hand. You'll be unmuted now. Thank you. You can unmute yourself and speak.
All right. Thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
With regards to the Eurobond, I do understand that you only can invest with an inflow. But where you don't have an inflow and you have forex, is there any means of investing in it?
Yes, definitely, sir. The most important thing, when I said inflow earlier, I meant if you have dollars, so it could be maybe it is in forex, or probably you are getting inflow from outside of the country, irrespective of the source. The most important thing is that we are investing in the Eurobond space. You invest directly in US dollars. And when you're getting your coupon, you also get directly in US dollars. So it's not like your money will be converted into another currency. So if you have forex, yes, you can also invest in the Eurobond.
Just to clear, can I pay the forex into your account over the counter?
Over the counter? Yes, it is possible, sir. Okay, basically, maybe after this call, we would reach out to you, for clarity on how to proceed with that. But yes, you can pay directly over the counter into an account. Ideally, to make the process easier, we open a custody account in your name. So by the time you are paying, it will seem as if you're paying directly from your own self into an account that has been opened in your email. So it helps to eradicate all those challenges we might have with payments and all.
Okay, thank you.
After this call, you can send us an email, to provide more clarity on how to go about with the process.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Okay, Mr. Bosun. Mr. Bosun, you can unmute, sir. Mr. Bosun Abodunde, you can unmute, sir. Okay, I think he is not available at the moment. If there are other questions, please, now is the time to ask. And you can also send us an email after the session for clarity on areas where you need guidance. Questions? Questions? Okay, in the absence of any further question, we'd like to thank everyone for taking their time to join. We appreciate taking your time. We do not take this for granted. And also, we thank you for your continued patronage, and we hope that we get to serve you better and to first continue to enjoy a mutually beneficial relationship. So thank you so much for your time once again, and do have a great day all. Thank you.